What if I told you that you could get approved for 50, 100,000, or even more in business funding, often at 0% interest rate, but that a few simple overlooked mistakes on your application are getting you automatically denied before a human ever even sees it? These are the hidden traps of the business credit world. They have nothing to do with how great your business idea is and everything to do with how you present your business on paper. When you fall into these traps, you get denied. When you avoid them, you unlock the capital you need to build your empire. If you're new to the channel, my name's Colin I read Rich Dad Poor Dad when I turned 13, and I became obsessed with credit and finance and even followed in Robert Kiyosaki's footsteps and enlisted in the Marine Corps when I turned 18, where I witnessed firsthand what Rich Dad's book said that they do not teach financial education in school. The Marines to my left and right were defaulting on cars and credit cards, so I got certified in credit repair to fix their credit. And fast forward to today, I run an 8-figure credit repair and funding business. And I make these videos to help you guys fix first, fund second, and invest third in that order. So let's start with the very first thing that lenders see and the trap that stops most applications dead in their tracks: your business's identity. The first trap is that your business isn't fundable on paper. You've built a real business, but to a lender, it looks like a risky hobby. Lenders use your business's legal structure and identity details to gauge its legitimacy, professionalism, and most importantly, its fundability. A weak setup raises immediate red flags because your entity structure, SIC code, and credit health are the holy trinity of approvals. So here's how you make your business look more credible to lenders. First, we need to choose the right entity. You're going to want to avoid sole proprietorships. This offers zero separation between you and your business. It tells lenders that you are the business and your personal finances and the business finances are commingled. This is the number one structural mistake that people make. Embrace the LLC. For most entrepreneurs, the limited liability company, the LLC, is the sweet spot. It provides personal asset protection, it projects professionalism to the banks, and it's a structure that most banks are comfortable lending to. It's simple to set up and maintain. You could do it in 5 minutes online. Next, you're going to want to craft a low-risk business name. Your legal business name is a key data point for lenders. Names that scream high risk, like trucking, real estate holdings, capital investments, and so on, those trigger automatic denials. The solution is choosing a low-risk, neutral, generic name like ABC Consulting LLC, Management, Enterprises, and so forth. These are all safe and professional. And later on, you can get a DBA for a doing business as to operate under your more specific brand-focused name while keeping the legal entity name neutral and fundable. Next, you're going to want to optimize your industry code. This is your NAICS code. It's the North American Industry Classification System. This code is how lenders categorize your business and assess its risk. High-risk industries like trucking, restaurants, and real estate development often get denied. The strategy is to find a NAICS code that accurately represents your business activities while avoiding high-risk triggers. For example, a real estate investor could be residential property managers, 531311, instead of the riskier landlord 531110. A trucking company might be logistics consulting, 541614, instead of general freight trucking, 484110. Now you're going to want to establish a professional footprint. This involves getting your EIN, your employer identification number. You get this from the IRS. It's free. It takes 10 minutes to do online. And it's like the social security number for your business. It's a non-negotiable. You're going to open a dedicated business bank account using your LLC papers and your EIN. And don't commingle funds. Lenders need to see a clear separation between your personal and your business finances. If you've been dealing with bad credit for years and you just want my company to fix your credit for you, click the link in the description. My team will offer you a free consultation where we can show you our white glove credit repair with a warranty and a guarantee. And if you want 100K in funding, links for getting funding and working with my team is in the pinned comment and description as well. So you've built a fundable entity and you've avoided the first trap. But now you're applying for credit and you fall right into the second trap, which is about how and where you apply. Trap number 2 is a weak or non-existent business credit profile. If you just apply for business credit based solely on your personal credit strength, some lenders may deny you if you completely ignore your business's own financial identity. Lenders want to see that your business has a history of financial responsibility, not just you. You don't need money to start, you just need the right profile. So here's how to fix a weak or non-existent business credit profile. You got to get on the map. Your business needs a credit file. And with the major business credit bureaus, Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, and Equifax Business. You could start by getting a free DUNS number from the Dun & Bradstreet website. This officially establishes your business file in the largest business credit database. Next, you're going to want to establish some trade lines. This is the fastest way to build business credit history without taking on any hard inquiries or any debts. A trade line is simply an account with a vendor or a supplier that reports your payment history to the business credit bureaus and builds your business credit. You could open accounts with vendors like Uline, Granger, or Quill, but my favorite is going to be Nav and eCredible. Nav gives you 2 trade lines and eCredible gives you 1. These 3 trade lines can build your business credit in under 30 days. Just getting 3 to 5 of these trade lines reported can generate a great Paydex score and even establish your Equifax and Experian business credit profiles as well. Now you're ready to open a business credit card. Once you have some trade lines reporting, you could go to the bank and apply for a business credit card with a good personal credit score. Look for ones that report to the business bureaus like Wells Fargo, not just your personal credit. Now, use it for small, regular business expenses and pay the balance in full every month, and it will start to build your business credit even further. Building your business credit profile is crucial, but it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Many entrepreneurs get impatient and they fall into the trap, which is number 3, which is completely sabotaging their personal credit profile, the very foundation of your funding eligibility. Trap number 3 is destroying your personal credits in the name of business. In the rush to fund their business, a lot of entrepreneurs make the critical errors that tank their personal FICO score. They don't realize that for the first few years, their personal credit is the primary factor in most business funding decisions. Your credit profile is your most valuable financial asset. A low personal credit score almost closes every single door out there. I worked with a client before who had a great business idea and a 780 FICO score. He went out and he applied for 5 different business cards in 1 week, and his score plummeted 40 points from all the hard inquiries. Then he maxed them all out to buy his inventory, and some of these cards, like Capital One Discover, they reported to his personal, and the utilization plummeted his score all the way to 650. He went from being a prime candidate for 6 figures in funding to being completely unfundable in just 60 days. You've got to protect your personal credit foundation. Needless to say, we helped him reverse the damage that he did, but here's how you can avoid making that mistake entirely. You got to master your credit utilization. This is the second most important factor in your FICO score. Lenders want to see you're using less than 30% of your available credits and ideally under 9% for the highest possible scores. Never carry a balance from one statement date to the next just to show that you're using it. Pay your statement balance in full before the due date. And high balances, even if paid off, can be reported to the bureaus and temporarily crush your scores if you don't pay it off before the statement date. You got to manage your hard inquiries. This is worth 10% of your score. Every time you apply for credit, it creates a hard inquiry. And too many in a short period makes you look desperate for cash. So the strategy is you don't want to apply for everything at once. Be strategic. This leads directly to the next trap. But for now, understand that spacing out your applications is key. You're going to want to protect your average age of your accounts. This is worth 15% of your score. Do not close old personal credit cards and don't open too many recent new ones. An older credit history demonstrates stability, and closing an old account can lower your average age and can plummet your scores. So keep them open even if you're only using them for small bills and things like that. Now, protecting your personal credit is paramount, but even with a perfect score, you can get denied if you don't understand the hidden gems of the banking application system. This brings us to the most advanced and costly trap, Number 4, applying blindly, the wrong banks in the wrong order. So you have a great personal credit score and a fundable business entity. So you're ready to start applying for business credit cards. But if you apply at the wrong banks in the wrong order, like less inquiry-sensitive banks to more inquiry-sensitive banks, you will get denied. You got to realize that not all banks are created equal and that the order that you apply in is crucial. This is the fix, the art of credit stacking. Here's the secret. Not every lender pulls your credit report from the same bureau. Some pull Experian, some pull TransUnion, and some pull Equifax. The goal is to apply strategically so that each lender sees a fresh credit report with minimal recent inquiries. This is what we call credit stacking, and this is how we guide our clients to securing 50 to 100K plus in a single funding round, often at 0% interest. But here is the general idea with credit stacking. You got to know who pulls from where. You're going to want to research which credit bureau your target bank typically uses for business credit card applications. You can find this on databases like MyFICO Forms or the Credit Pulls database, or you can find it from watching my YouTube videos. Next, you got to know which banks are inquiry sensitive. Banks like Chase and US Bank and PNC are inquiry sensitive banks. You got to front load those to the beginning of your application sequence. Next, you got to build a stacking sequence. An example could be applying for Chase Inc., which often pulls Experian and is inquiry sensitive, then applying with a TransUnion bank like Bank of America, and applying for a Equifax bank like Truist Bank. Now, the last step, you're going to want to execute within a tight window. Complete your primary applications within a short period, just a couple days or so, and this minimizes the time for the inquiries to post and be seen by other lenders. Now, this strategy alone can be the difference between getting $10,000 and getting $100,000 in funding. But there's one final trap that ensures if you even get approved at all, you won't get the highest limits that you need. Trap number 5 is having a weak or no bank relationships at all. If you treat banks like they're transactional vendors instead of investment partners, you're gonna be faced with really low limit approvals, guys. You have your checking account at one bank, you have a credit card with another, and you apply for business funding at a third with no history or relationship, and you get denied. Bank is far more likely to extend significant credit to a customer they know, they like, and they trust. Relationships with banks are built before you need the money. Think about this. Would you lend $50,000 to a complete stranger, or would you be more comfortable lending it to a friend who you've known for years, who's always paid you back, and who you've always seen succeed? Banks operate on the same principle, guys. A long-term customer is a known entity. A new applicant is a stranger. This is how I always negotiate from a position of strength. Banks lend most to those who don't desperately need it. So here's how you can start building relationships with banks. Start early and start strong. Before you even need business funding, open the business checking account and savings account with 3 to 5 major national banks like Chase, B of A, Wells Fargo, and so on. Show them the money. Run as much of your business revenue as possible through these accounts before applying. Banks love to see healthy, consistent deposit activity, and maintain a strong average daily balance, and avoid overdrafts at all costs. Utilize multiple products. The deeper your relationship, the better. In addition to check and savings, consider their merchant processing, their credit cards, or even a small line of credit. The more touch points they have with you, the more valuable you are as a customer. Get to know your bankers. Don't just be an account number. Build rapport with the staff, from the tellers to the business bankers and even the branch managers. Let them know about you and your business, your goals, and your successes that you've had in the past. And when you need funding, these internal advocates can be invaluable. Remember, having relationships with the bank managers across the nation helps to 10x your funding when you least expect it. Now, the strategies we've discussed are the foundation for maximizing the odds of securing business credit, but knowing how to avoid is just the first step. What's more important is what to do to secure business credit. So watch this video where I talk about credit stacking in depth, which is how we specifically secure $50,000 to $100,000 plus in a single funding round, often at 0% interest.